That's good. Hi everyone. I today will be talking about the marginalization of undocumented immigrants in the United States, and then using the documentary "Living Undocumented" to support those that research. Immigration status affects so many parts of a person's life, and can I not go to the next one? Next slide. Go to the next slide. Mhm. Okay. Great. Here we go. Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the marginalization of undocumented immigrants in the United States using the documentary Living Undocumented. Immigration status affects so many parts of a person's life, from safety to access of resources. By looking at both historical policies and the real experiences of families, we can better understand the challenges they face, and also why it's also important for social workers to be aware of these issues. So, this documentary follows several undocumented families and really shows the day-to-day life, and how it is affected by the constant threat of detention or deportation. It emphasizes the emotional toll, especially on children, and highlights barriers to work, education, and healthcare. By telling personal stories too, it also helps viewers understand the human side of immigration policy, not just legal details. While immigration marginalization is not new, it goes back over 100 years. So, early laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Immigration Act of 1924 really set the stage for who was allowed in and who was not. And they reinforced public ideas about which groups were acceptable and which ones were not. The historical context is important because it shows how current challenges are built on a long history of exclusion. So policies like the Immigration Reform and Control Act or in the IRA expanded enforcement and deportation authority, which made it life more unstable for undocumented communities. Even policies meant to reform immigration ended up increasing fear and limiting legal options for families. Understanding how these laws help many immigrants remain undocumented despite wanting to follow the law. After 9/11, immigration enforcement became more aggressive with more raids and more detentions. Policies like the zero tolerance policy left to family separations, and then rules like public charge made it um, difficult for people to access services safely. Um, the documentary shows how these policies affect families in real time and how fear impacts daily life. So here are some of the key effects affecting undocumented immigrants. One of the big ones is DACA, that provided temporary protection for some young people, but other policies increased enforcement or limited benefits. So just looking at this timeline, you can see how policies often created instability rather than security for immigrant families. Before watching the documentary, I kind of thought that being undocumented was mostly a personal choice, but this film helped me see that the systemic barriers and economic pressures that make legal pathways difficult or sometimes impossible for a lot of families. It really changed how some of um, my assumptions helped me understand how easily stereotypes can form when we don't know someone's full story. So bias and lack of historical awareness can really harm social work practice. Undocumented clients may already be hesitant to seek help, so gaining their trust is super important. Social workers need to understand the history, protect confidentiality, and advocate for their clients, and to make sure that their services are accessible and supportive. So this is essential for ethical and cultural responsive practice. Culturally grounded practice means recognizing the trauma and undocumented people face, validating their experiences, and advocating for challenges or for changes beyond individual services. Understanding the historical context and allows social workers to provide compassionate and effective support while also building trust and dignity with their clients. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope this presentation helps show that undocumented immigrants do face challenges that go way beyond legal status. Their experiences are shaped by history, policies, and daily life. So, understanding that can really help social workers and communities support them better. Thank you very much.